For 500 years, this story remained buried beneath dust, silence, and fear. It was not erased, it was hidden. Not because it was false, but because it was dangerous. Tonight, you will hear a medieval tale that powerful men once tried to forget. A story discovered in fragments of parchment, locked away in stone libraries, written in ink that time itself tried to wash away. This is not a legend of dragons or kings alone. It is a story about truth, power, and the cost of speaking when silence is safer. In the late 1800s, a crumbling monastery in northern Europe was being restored. Its walls had stood since the 12th century, untouched by war, untouched by reform. Behind a collapsed stone shelf, workers found something strange, a narrow wooden chest sealed with iron and wax. Inside were parchments, not religious texts, not prayers, but a story, written in careful Latin, copied again and again, as if someone feared the original would be destroyed. At the bottom of the final page, a note read, "Let this remain unseen until men are ready." The ink dated the story to the year 1472. What followed was a tale so unsettling that monks themselves had hidden it away. The story begins in a small medieval kingdom known as Aurelion, a land of stone roads, cold rivers, and iron laws. Aurelion was ruled by King Albrecht, a man praised in public sermons as righteous, chosen by God, and unchallenged. But parchment tells us what sermons did not. Beyond the castle walls, the people lived hungry. Taxes rose each winter, bread grew thinner, and dissent vanished quietly. The king's greatest strength was not his army, it was fear. At the heart of the story is a man named Matthias, a royal scribe. Matthias was invisible, as scribes were meant to be. He recorded laws, copied orders, and sealed royal decrees without question. Or so everyone believed. What Matthias saw daily was not justice, but lies carefully written to appear holy. Orders rewritten, executions renamed as judgments, confiscated land described as divine redistribution. Matthias knew something dangerous. History was being forged in ink. One winter night, Matthias was ordered to copy a decree declaring a famine to be an act of God. But he knew the truth. Grain stores were full, locked beneath the castle. The famine was engineered to weaken rebellious villages. For the first time, Matthias disobeyed. He did not alter the decree. Instead, he began writing another record, one never meant to be read publicly, a secret chronicle. A true account of the kingdom, written on parchment stolen piece by piece, hidden beneath loose floor stones, written only by candlelight. Each page ended with the same line, "This is what truly happened." One night, a woman appeared at the castle gates with a starving child. Matthias recorded the king's refusal to open the granaries, but in his secret chronicle he wrote her name, Elena. She died 3 days later. This moment changed him forever. The chronicle was no longer just truth, it became witness. Truth never remains hidden forever. Another scribe noticed discrepancies, missing parchment, altered seals. Matthias was arrested. No trial, no defense. The king himself confronted him. According to the parchment, King Albrecht said only one sentence: "Truth belongs to those who rule." Matthias was sentenced not to death, but to silence. His tongue was cut out, his hands broken. He was locked beneath the castle, alive, but erased. But the story does not end in darkness. Before his arrest, Matthias entrusted the Chronicle to a young monk named Brother Thomas, a man sworn to obedience, yet still human. Thomas copied the Chronicle in fragments, disguising it as prayer text, hiding truth between psalms. When the king died years later, Thomas fled. The monastery became the Chronicle's tomb. The truth slept. For centuries, the story could not be told, not because it was untrue, but because it proved something terrifying: that history is written by power, not by truth. Kings fell, empires rose, but the pattern remained. Those who spoke were erased, those who wrote were silenced. So the story waited. When scholars finally pieced the fragments together, they debated its authenticity. But one thing was undeniable. The handwriting matched official royal records. The ink matched the century. The fear behind the words was real. The final line of the Chronicle reads, "I do not write to be believed. I write so that truth may exist somewhere." This medieval story survived because someone believed that truth mattered, even if no one heard it. And perhaps that is why it speaks to us now, because the tools have changed, but the silence has not. 500 years ago, this medieval story was hidden beneath stone and dust, not to protect lies, but to protect truth. And now it has found its voice again. If you listen carefully, you might realize this medieval tale is not about the past at all. It is us.